Hello, my dear children and parents. Welcome to Indus Valley Public School RAT e-learning classes. Class 7th, where we will do lesson number 8 from your Honeycomb book. And the name of the lesson is Fire, Friend and Foe. We are going to study about a natural phenomena of fire, where we will see fire as a friend and foe. But how it is a friend and how it is a foe, we will study in the poem. Friend, you know what is friend? Foe means enemy. And further we will study about the causes of fire and how to put off. So in this lesson, we will get very crucial information about a potential hazard that can easily be prevented. So now here we are going with the lesson 7. So fire is both useful and dangerous. But what is fire? How did we discover it? How do we control it? So early man did not know what fire was, but he must have seen the damage it could cause. So early man means our ancestors, like your ape, monkeys and all. ठीक है, जो पुराने ज़माने में people हुआ करते थे. So they did not know what is fire, but they have seen the damage, the destruction caused by the fire. Fire से क्या नुकसान होता है, उन्होंने वो चीज़ को देखा. He must have watched lightning and volcanoes long before he began to use fire himself. So everybody in the previous time also have seen the fire, seen the volcano eruption as well as the thunder and lightning in case of rain. Fire has powerful and dangerous, and he was frightened. So what happened? Fire is very powerful and dangerous. So whenever it used to explore anywhere, whenever it caused anywhere, so people used to get afraid of it. Fire may have puzzled early man, but we now know the fire is the result of a chemical reaction. So in the early age, when before civilization you can say, so everybody, people at that time used to think that what is fire? और वो लोग पजल हो जाते थे, सोचते थे होता क्या है ये चीज़. बट नाउ वी नो व्हाट इज अ फायर. फायर इज अ chemical reaction. It is a scientific term. It is a fire is a chemical reaction. So how it is a chemical reaction? Now we are going into a scientific definition of fire. So here this definition everybody have to learn. Okay, what is the definition? When the oxygen in the air combines with carbon and hydrogen in a fuel, a chemical reaction takes place. So, what combine? Oxygen. Where it is present? In the air. So, when oxygen combines with the carbon and hydrogen, where it is present? In the air. Okay. So, when it combine with when oxygen combine with carbon and hydrogen in a fuel. सो एक फ्यूल की ज़रूरत पड़ती है. आप ऐसे ही कहीं कुछ नहीं कर सकते. व्हाट वी नीड? अ फ्यूल. ठीक है. अ केमिकल रिएक्शन टेक प्लेस. तो उसमें क्या होता है? एक रिएक्शन होता है. जब हम लोग कहीं कुछ लाते हैं, किसी चीज़ में मिक्सचर करते हैं, अगर आप वाटर में भी आप सॉल्ट डालते हो या शुगर डालते हो तो इट्स अ मिक्सचर. ओके, वो चेंज हो जाता है. उसका जो प्रॉपर्टीज़ होती हैं वाटर की वो चेंज हो जाएंगी. स्वीट हो जाएगा, कोई सॉर हो जाएगा, कोई सॉल्टी हो जाएगा. So similarly, when oxygen in the air combines with carbon and hydrogen in fuel, then there is a chemical reaction. The energy in the form of heat and light is released in this process. तो ये जो process होता है, so what is released? Heat, that is गर्म, and light. तो दो चीज़ produce होती है. That is heat and light. ये दोनों क्या है? Heat and light, form of energy. This is what we call fire. So with this, after the reaction, what energy is released is heat and light. And this form of energy is known as fire. Okay, so learn this definition everyone. Three things are needed to make fire. We have just seen three things are required. What are they? Fuel, oxygen and heat. What three things are required for the fire? Heat is required, fuel is required and oxygen is required. So three component of fire is heat, oxygen and fuel. Wood, coal, cooking gas and petrol are some example of fuel. So fuel की examples क्या क्या हैं? Wood, coal, cooking gas and petrol. Oxygen comes from air. Okay? That is why when you blow on smoldering paper, it often bursts into flame. So what is a smoldering paper? It's a burning slowly flame without flame. Okay? The third thing need to make fire is heat. What is the third component of fire? Heat. So fuel and oxygen do not make fire by themselves. So any one component is missing. What are the three components of fire? Heat, oxygen and fuel. And out of these three, if any one is missing, you cannot produce fire. We will see the examples later on. Okay. So now it is said that fuel and oxygen do not make fire by themselves. अगर आपने फ्यूल भी रख दिया और ऑक्सीजन भी रख दिया, दोनों चीज रख दी और उसमें से हीट मिसिंग है, फायर कभी नहीं होगा. ओके. तो सिमिलरली और एल्स न्यूज़पेपर और स्टिक लाइंग इन एन ओपन वुड कैच फायर ऑन इट्स ओन. और आपने अगर मैच स्टिक रख दी है और नॉट मैच स्टिक रख दी एंड पेपर रख दिया साथ में, इट विल नॉट कैच फायर बिकॉज हमने उसमें हीट नहीं लाया. until unless we will not produce the heat in that, it is not going to catch the fire. To burn a piece of paper or wood, we heat it before it catches fire. We generally do it with a lighted match. So lighted match means जो हम matchstick को burn करते हैं. Every fuel has a particular temperature at which it begins to burn. This temperature is called the flash point or kindling temperature of the fuel. So the minimum temperature at which fuel start burning is known as kindling temperature or flash point. So kindling temperature or flash point both are similar. And what is that? The minimum temperature at which the fuel start burning is called kindling or flash point. So minimum temperature at which fuel start burning, that is known as kindling and flash point. Both are same. It is sometimes said that fire is a good servant but a bad master. Why does good servant and bad master? Because it serves you, it gives benefit to you, then it is a servant, good servant. When it causes damages to you, it becomes bad master. How? Let's see. It means when that fire is very useful as long as it is kept under control. So when fire is under control, then it is very good. It is a servant. For instance, we use it to cook our food. We use it, no? For cooking our food? Yes. To warm our house in winters. To generate electricity. So what are the uses of fire? That proves that it is a good servant. Like we use to cook food. We use to warm ourselves in winter. And we use it to generate electricity. So all these things is the examples that proves fire is a good servant. Next. But on the other hand, so now we have seen a good side of the fire as a friend. Now we are going to see the other side of the fire. What is the other side of the fire? If fire gets out of control, it can be very dangerous. Each year, thousands of homes and shops are damaged by fire. So whenever there is extreme heat, no? Sometimes you have seen in the news, jungles catch fire. Sometimes short circuits are there in the shops, so all fire is there. All this causes of fire. So when it is out of control, when we are not able to control the fire, it becomes a disaster. It damages into a huge quantity. Okay. So vast area of forest are also destroyed and hundreds of people are killed or injured. Just as three things are needed to start a fire. What are the three things? Heat, oxygen and fuel. So there are three main ways in which a fire can be put out in Okay, so there are 3 ways where we can put out the fire. Let's see what are they. In each one of 3 things needed for burning is taken away. So as 3 things are required, heat is required, oxygen is required, fuel is required. तो हम लोग इनमें से एक एक चीज़ को अगर हटा दें, अगर हमने पहले में हीट हटा दिया तो ऑक्सीजन एंड फ्यूल से हम कॉज नहीं कर सकते. अगर हम ऑक्सीजन हटा देंगे तो हीट एंड फ्यूल से नहीं होगा. इफ वी आर ओमिटिंग आउट द फ्यूल देन हीट एंड ऑक्सीजन कैन नॉट प्रोड्यूस fire. So any one thing if we remove, then fire cannot be caused and we can control the fire. Okay. Now for example, we can take away the fuel if the fire has no fuel to feed on. No burning can take place. We often let a fire die out simply by not adding more fuel to it. Suppose आप wood लिया, ठीक है, वुड बर्न कर रहे हैं, घर पे चूल्हे पे खाना बनाए, तो जितनी आपकी लकड़ियां हैं उतनी देर जलेगा. और व्हेन यू स्टॉप प्रोवाइडिंग दैट वुड टू द फायर इट विल स्टॉप बर्निंग. ओके, सो दिस इज व्हाट, व्हेन यू स्टॉप प्रोवाइडिंग फ्यूल टू द फायर इज गोइंग टू स्टॉप. ओके, सो दिस इज द वन कंडीशन. The second way of putting out a fire is to prevent oxygen from reaching it. So when we are not providing oxygen to that thing, so no supply of oxygen means no fire. Some fire can be put out or smoothed with a damp blanket or a sack. This will stop oxygen reaching the burning material. So what happened? You have seen in some of the movies, if fire is caught to a person, then people used to wrap that person in a blanket. Blanket में उसको लगा देते हैं ना. Why? Because तो जो ऑक्सीजन उसमें एयर पास नहीं होगी, तो इंसान के अंदर से एयर पास नहीं होगी. So what happened? Fire will not be damaging that person. Fire will be stopped. Okay, because supply of oxygen is cut off by the help of that blanket. So that is what it is told here. Okay, so or sometimes we use carbon dioxide also. So why? Carbon and carbon dioxide, what are different? Okay, sometimes carbon dioxide is used to extinguish fire. It does not allow oxygen to reach burning material. Okay, so either you can put up a blanket so the supply of oxygen is stopped, or we put up the carbon dioxide so that supply of oxygen is stopped. Clear? This is the second way. Now the third way of putting out a fire is to remove heat. अब हम उसमें heat नहीं देंगे. Let's see how. If the temperature can be brought down below the flash point. What is the flash point? We have learned right now. The minimum temperature at which fuel start burning. That is known as flash point. तो जो मिनिमम टेम्परेचर के नीचे भी हम अगर टेम्परेचर लेके आ जाते हैं, एट दैट टाइम योर फायर विल स्टॉप. लेट्स सी हाउ. द फ्यूल स्टॉप बर्निंग. यू ब्लो ऑन अ बर्निंग मैस्टिक और अ कैंडल टू पुट इट आउट. सो आपने देखा होगा ना, व्हेन यू जस्ट लाइट अ कैंडल बर्थडेज में, देन यू यूज टू ब्लो, नो, फूकते हैं उसको तो बुझ जाती है. वाई? बिकॉज उसका जो आप फूक रहे हो, आपकी जो आपके फूक में क्या होता है, उसका जो टेम्परेचर होता है उसका कैंडल का, दैट विल कम डाउन एंड इट विल स्टॉप बर्निंग. ओके, और आपकी फूक में क्या होता है, कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड होता है उसमें, तो वो आपको उसको बुझा देता है. ठीक. In doing so, you remove the hot air around the flame, bring down its temperature below the flash point, and the candle goes out. Sometimes water is sprayed on a fire. It absorbs heat from the burning fuel and lowers the temperature. The blanket or water also cuts off the supply of oxygen and the fire is extinguished. So we have seen how we can stop fire by removing any of the 3 components of the fire. We can control the fire. What are the 3 components of fire? Heat, oxygen and fuel. Okay, these 3 things are required in order to generate fire. There is a flash point or kindling temperature. Both are same. What is that? The minimum temperature at which fuel start burning, that is known as kindling temperature or flash point. And how to control the fire? If any of these 3 components, heat, oxygen and fuel is removed from the fire, then we can control the fire. Okay, so my dear children, here I end With this video, in the next video, we will learn about which kind of fire we cannot control by water. Okay. So in the next video, I'll provide you with that. And here I end with the lesson. Go through the lesson, read it, and if any doubt, please do ask me. So till then, bye-bye, take care, and thank you so much.